Hey everyone, welcome. Before we jump into creating users and assigning roles, let's talk about why user roles are absolutely critical in modern cloud environments. The big picture, think about your organization. You have got developers, IT admins, application owners, security teams, help desk staff. Should everyone have the same level of access? Absolutely not. And that's where role-based access control or RBAC comes in. Microsoft Entra ID, which you might still know as Azure Active Directory, has over 60 built-in administrator roles. Each one is designed for specific tasks. And here is the key principle: least privilege access. And give people exactly what they need to do their jobs, nothing more, nothing less. So why this matters? Let me paint a scenario. Someone accidentally deletes your entire tenant configurations, or a compromised account wipes out all your applications. These are not hypothetical. They happen when people have too much access. So the application administrator role is a perfect example of good role design. This person can manage enterprise applications, app registration, and proxy settings, but they cannot touch user accounts, cannot modify global settings, cannot delete critical resources. They have power, but it's a focused power. Now, the key concept you need to know first, understand the difference between built in roles and custom roles. Built in roles cover 90% of scenarios, and custom roles are coming when you need a very specific requirements or require an intra ID pre requirements, and for that one purpose you also need like premium P1 or P2 license. Second, it's coming role assignment scope. So some roles work at the directory level, which affect everything. Others can be scoped to specific resources. An application administrator assigned to just one app can manage only that app. Now, there is also permanent versus eligible rules. With privilege identity management or PIM, user can have eligible roles that have activate only when needed. This reduces your attack surface dramatically. Now, global administrator uh, role wise. So, global admin is the master key. They can do absolutely anything in your tenant. So, Microsoft best practices, you have to think of like two to max five global administrator, and that can only be used for emergency access. And for day-to-day work, use lower privileged roles. Now we'll focus on hands-on lab. So what we are about to learn, by this going through this lab, you will see the complete life cycle, creating users manually and in bulk, assign roles and testing what those roles can actually do. After that, we'll use PowerShell to automate this task. And most importantly, you will experience why testing with non-admin accounts matters. This is just about not checking boxes. It's about building a security foundation for your entire cloud environments. So the very first lab we are going to focus is uh, manage user roles, implement an identity management solution. In the description section, I will provide the link for Microsoft Learn and also this GitHub document link so that you can follow this lab. This lab will work on manage user roles. So lab scenario is like your company recently hired a new employee who will perform duties as an application administrator, and you must create a new user and assign the application role. So let's start that one. To create a new user, first sign into Azure Intra. Here I have signed in as a global admin. Then from the left side menu under Entra ID, click on users. Under users, you see that all users, and on right side there is options for new users, and see the two options there. So we are going for this lab, we are going to use create a new user. Select on create a new user, give username. And then password, there is the options that you can set here, but as an admin, we are just giving auto-generated password so that when users will get that one, it will prompt the user Chris to reset his password. And if you want to because you can send, if a user asks, so you can take a copy of this password and note somewhere in case user asks for this password, initial password. So then click on review and create, and you see that there is option create. Click on create. So you can see successfully created that user. So you can validate from this users list here. So you can just type Chris. We can see that user has been created. Now try to log in with that users to create an app. So for that, let's open an in private window and let's connect there. When you logged in, it will ask to reset password. Just to make sure that you are passing a complex password. Um, this is for multi-factor to get. Let me skip for now. Let's see. Still signed in. Yes. But it's ultimately we have to set that up. Multi-factor. I think it's forcing. Yes. So let me set that up here. So notification approved, click next, click on done. So after logging in, you see that enterprise apps on your left side. So click that button, and now it's a new application. If I click that one, that create your own application, uh, this is disabled or not available for this user for now. So similarly, if you go that, for example, other properties like user settings, you will see that user Chris does not have access to those uh, features. So now let's assign the application admin role so that user Chris can create an app. So let's go back to our admin account and select the Chris account here, and then select on assigned roles. So there is no assignment yet, so click on add assignment and then select the role here. So we are going to application administrator role. When that is done, down below this Chris, click on next. Then there are two assignment type options. First is eligible, that means we can activate later on when they need, so that one user is eligible for that one. We can give a time like when we active, then we can select that time, like which time, which range he will do. We can select here, you can define the time, or we can permanently assign that on. So for now we are going to select on eligible and click on assign. So now if we go to eligible assignment, we can see that Chris has are eligible to um, for that role, application administrator role. So now, but it's not assigned yet. So let's assign that role. So for that, you have to go to that update button here, and down below, eligible assignment type, select active. So it will be active now. If you go down, we need to put some justification. So manager approve. And click on save. So now we'll see that assignment is under active assignment. I can say that is active now. So now let's go back to private window. We may need to reconnect. We need to reconnect. So let's say without reconnecting, if I go to all applications and new applications, that user has got now like create an applications. So this role now has the ability to add application to that tenant level. So now go back to Entra as a admin user. Now what we are going to do, we are going to remove a role assignment. So from this Entra ID, you can go to user section, or you can also go, there is a roles and admin. You can select that roles and admin so that you can see which roles are available. So we are going to select application administrator role, and here we can see that we have assigned to ChrisG. If you scroll down to right side, scroll right, then you can see there is option to remove. So let's select remove, and it's giving a message that this role will be there but removing for this user ChrisG. So select yes. Because the active duration is too short, we need to wait for 5 minutes minimum required. So let's wait for a few minutes. I'll come back. So now let's try again. Click on remove, click yes. So it's removing role assignment successfully. So now if I refresh that page, that is no longer exist for that Chris user. So next we are going to do bulk input of users. So bulk operations for creating users with a .csv file. So for that, let's go to users. Here all users. Now you see that there is a option for bulk operations. So what you need to, you can just here you see that download users, bulk create, bulk invite. So if I click on bulk create, it's giving you option. First, you can download a template file. So if you open that file, this is actually a spreadsheet, and let's open that one to see the contents. So you can see that header field, and down below you can add your entry and then upload that file. For now, close this one. So now I'm going to upload a CSV file which is already there, downloaded with the lab files. To all files. This is under lab 1, and this file CSV, I'm going to edit that one. So click on edit, and here remove that example file, save that one. Now let's go there. Now we are going to update that CSV file. So click that CSV file, check that one. Now here after that file, you see that the message that file uploaded successfully. Now click on submit. Click here to view the status of each operation. It has been failed. So let me find what the issue is. So problem is there. You see that contoso.com. So that's the problem. So we just use that, enter the domain name. Let me update for all of them. It's in progress now. This has been created. Let me check some user like Omar Bennett. Chris was already there, so that so if we select user, we can see users has been created. I will go through the similar or same operation like bulk addition of users using PowerShell this time. So for that, let's open a PowerShell. A little bit down. So first, we need to install that Graph Microsoft.Graph PowerShell module. So we have already set up some Microsoft Graph options. Now we'll execute this command to create a users for self-service password reset. So this time users has been created. You can add and remove users, so the same way if you want to add more users you can do that one. So now we will go through to remove a user from Microsoft Entra ID. That when you connect it to Entra, go to users and go to all users, and under there let's we are going to delete the users that we created, Chris users. Let's try with this one. So here, if you select that user, there is option for delete. Select delete. Delete that one. Yes, okay to delete. So users has been deleted. So may need to refresh the page. Don't see refresh options here. Okay, let's refresh the top level. So now see that user is not there, but there is the option. Think that sometimes by mistake you did that one. So what you can do, you can go to under this all users, there is the option like deleted users. If you go there, deleted users section, you can see that users is there. You can select that users. So option is there, like if you want permanently delete, you can do that delete permanently, but for now we would like to restore, so we can just select restore users and click OK. So users has been restored. So if we search here, or refresh button is there, this time you can see search here, Chris. Does it take little time sometimes? Section, because it's not deleted users. We'll go to all users and check Chris is there. So Chris has been restored. So now we're going to, for the next exercise, where we are going to add a Windows 10 license to a user account. So for that, we're connected again Microsoft Entra, and here let's do for one particular users, that is for first check that user called Raul. And if we go to that Raul and check his profile here, and ensure for this one to assign license, so we need to make sure that user's location is set up. So here, if you look here down below, you can see that user's location has been set up. You need to make sure that has been defined. Now, now go to here is the license button. And for these users, we can see that has been active because I did that before. So let me delete and recreate that one again. So there is no license assignment found. So what will go for this now? Still we're in Entra, and if you see here that license tab, So you can go through manage view, edit columns, or no. For now, what we are going to do, let me go to now. You see that there is no Raul does not have any license assignment. So to assign a license, we need to connect to Microsoft 365 Admin Center. So here I have connected to Microsoft 365 Admin Center as a administrator. Now from left side, you see that billing, select on billing, and if you expand that one, you can see that licenses. Select that one and select the license that we are going to assign. So Windows 10, 11 Enterprise E3 license. Then click on Assign Licenses. Select the username. And click on Assign License and click on Done. So when that is done, go back to Azure Intra, refresh the page, and you see that user has got license. So we have successfully completed this lab. So please join me next session.